My first class, we had this conference. They even called it conferences. And, we just had this long and board room. That was our class. And we were like 12 for my course. And the lecturer, I was just like, is this school? I was like, I could do this. Then they'll say, let's have coffee break. I'm like, coffee break?
Isaac, I'm going to you. I'm going for a course in you.
It was my mind was blown.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to Japa Chronicles.
I don't know it's like when you come up with all this low energy.
You start slowly now. You're interrupting my...
I've been thinking about it.
I prepared a script.
Okay.
A good monologue for 20 minutes. Our intro is for 20 minutes.
Okay.
I'm drinking. But yeah, welcome to...
Your energy level is low. What's
it's coming.
Because I know you're emotional. Any recent heartbreak or something? Because I thought about it, man, you didn't lose this weekend. So like the things that normally go make you feel sad.
Some sad stuff happened. Like, I was going to tell you. Like I went home. Usually I went home to my parents this weekend and I came back and it rained like stupidly yesterday and rain fell into my room because the window was open and all that. Yeah, so
nobody to help you.
Yeah, messed up on my stuff.
Okay, that's sad.
It's fine. So,
but since yesterday, it was on.
It was yesterday. It was. I came back from work now.
That kind of.
Yeah, so I just came back and so I just slept off. Like I just saw it and I slept off.
Sorry.
Yeah, so my clothes are ruined now. So I expect that Leeway would cover for my wardrobe.
Amen to that.
Why are you guys laughing?
No, because we know who you go need saying.
Don't worry, Leeway is only me too, so it's all right.
So who are we saying our meal to?
No, my own.
Hello, boys and girls. Welcome to another episode of Japa Chronicles because Isaac seems to be low on energy. And he seems to have aligned with our guest today.
Aligned, Bibawo.
Yeah, because they are both trying to.
We're trying to do what is right. The Leeway is,
me.
Which is usually not.
Transport, lunch, honorarium. Yeah. All three.
I didn't know you now do pastor things.
I was about to say that.
I know you're a wife, a mother,
a business owner, non-profit founder. It's a lot.
So you pastor meeting.
My time is important. And did I pray when I got here?
Okay, let's just do like this. Just introduce yourself.
This episode is going to be fun.
Let her introduce herself proper.
We know how you introduce me.
No, everybody don't know you. Like you don't cast. Everybody
don't introduce me.
See, everybody knows you. Me, I know you. She knows you.
Let them hear.
Victoria knows you.
Somebody texted me yesterday. Said, hello, KOG.
KOG, whoa.
You know I'm supposed to pay me for that name.
What is KOG?
King of
Japa.
Yeah.
And you are still here.
Oh my God.
Which kind of royalty be that? Let's just start.
No, you know all those presidents that rule from another country.
He's Buhari part 2. He's traveling for medical.
DSS no be me talk no be me talk.
King of Japa that is still here. Let us go.
But yeah, on a more serious note,
I'm excited. Today is going to be exciting,
Yeah.
And I feel, it's funny because when I reflect on the podcast, sometimes I haven't watched all the podcasts back. Yeah, I not all of them. Different reasons. I'm a busy man for one, then I have people that have to watch it for me. But but whenever I look back, like there's some guests that the energy just overpowers you. Like it does. This one seems like I have to match her energy.
Yeah, no, that's why.
That's why recording. The baby come does.
Words to my team lead.
No, kudos to her.
It's not me.
But her energy was in.
Kudos to her.
Words to my team lead. It's not me that
Let us go. Let us go. Oh yeah.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
Hello, boys and girls. We have a guest. Her name is Okpe. Let's move on because I don't like
just like that.
Yes, now because told you to introduce yourself.
I'm ready. Just like that.
Oh yeah.
Ask me nicely.
Mr. Dipo, how was your weekend?
Oh yeah.
So it was fun. I spent 2 days at home.
My name is Okwemi Makonjola. I'm a sexual reproductive health consultant. I'm the founder of a non-profit organization called Bridge the Gap Initiative. We've mentored over 48,000 children on sexual abuse cases, and we've handled over 106 cases of rape and domestic violence in children. and I am launching an online course on sex education for parents.
Hold on.
What?
Hold on.
What?
Hold on. Those cool
Wow.
stories. Those. What? Wait, behave yourself.
No, wow.
What do you feel like? You think I've seen a mentor? Hold on. Do you know when they invited you?
He said I meant
Did they tell you what we talk about?
I don't care. I'm selling my
You
market.
just need to plug your podcast and your everything.
I have a YouTube channel.
People pay.
I have a YouTube channel called Sex Ed
Producer, please cut
Series.
this. Cut all this part.
No way.
Cut it.
I love you,
Cut all
Mom.
this part.
If you cut it,
She's supposed to pay.
You are here because you have Japa.
Yes.
That's the
You're not
purpose.
yet to
I'm back.
advertise.
Okay.
Then
yeah.
We now said, okay, since this one we're talking about mental health, all those things, let's bring somebody with that. You just came and used 2
And I
minutes to
carried
plug.
it. Oh gosh. Okay, let's go back.
There's no
I
going
did my
back.
master's in the University of Warwick, UK.
Wait, we've not
Calm
gotten
down.
there.
You see,
Relax.
there are too
Please,
much.
I don't understand these
we're not
people.
going
You
there.
climb up, then you come down again. What happened?
We've not gotten there.
Why are you drinking water? Let us. I have children to go and pick up from school.
Mr. usually drinks water like later in the episode, but the stress that the energy you've given.
Oh yeah, let's go. I'm ready. Let's go.
Okay, so I know you're a wife.
Yeah. This
right?
wife.
I know you have 2 children.
Okay.
And I know you schooled abroad. That's all we wanted to hear. But now you have already gone into
Plugged.
You've plugged everything.
Plugged and unplugged.
So, ladies and gents, we are talking about sex ed today because clearly that's what makes her happy. She just went, I mean, this.
Are you hot?
Mr. Japa, you
I'm
do the
very
same thing too.
Sorry.
Just happy with this Fulani cap.
All right. How was your weekend, Isaac?
Oh yeah, I'm ready. I'm
yeah,
a
no, it's part of
wife.
the
I'm a
program
mom. I'm what else? I went to school abroad and I'm back in Nigeria.
So you can be humble.
I'm not Japa again.
So you can be humble.
Yes.
But Isaac, how was your weekend?
The American was
I mean,
very
you
bare.
say what I enter your house.
No, that was on Monday. It wasn't part of my weekend.
See,
Okay.
Yeah, that
yesterday was
on
Monday. Oh
Yeah,
yeah,
it was
okay,
Monday.
okay.
And that rain was crazy, man. Took
Yeah.
out people's roof and all that.
I
Where
did drive
was-
some
Where
of
do
it
you
yesterday.
stay?
Oh, I just
Oh, yeah, it was yesterday.
Where?
It's one of the high
Where
end areas in Lagos.
Where do
And I
you
say, what?
Where do you stay?
I don't stay in Agbara now. Come on, I stay in Magodo. On weekdays, I stay in Magodo. On weekends, I decide to visit
Oh my God.
the people in the low end area just to check up on them. That's all. But I stay in Magodo. Where do you stay? It took 2 hours.
If
took
I
2
leave
Guys,
set now, you
guys.
understand
It took 2
why.
hours
Guys,
to get here.
Our guests delayed us. There was traffic all over Nigeria.
There was traffic. There was traffic in our area.
Wait, did you say
There's
our
no traffic.
guest delayed us? And I hope that guest is you. Because
He was supposed to book your Uber.
yeah, you were supposed to book
Yeah,
my
but all of them
Uber.
say they can't get to your side. And where do you say again?
Jeez.
I never hear of that place before.
Please cut. I'm going to my house.
But,
yeah.
But how yesterday morning when the rain was like peak, like I was just hearing back. I woke up. I asked Holy Spirit how far. I went back to sleep. And I woke up. They asked gate man, Lion, the rain no really.
Your gate man is lion.
So they asked her, how far? This guy slept throughout the whole
Rain, are you serious?
He said he didn't hear anything.
He's Jesus' son. Jesus slept.
But actually,
with
he did
his
sleep
son.
too. So what I had prepared to wear to work, I've got soaked, so I had to wear something else.
All right, so let's just jump right into it. There are 2 things to talk about in our introduction. Normally, that's what we do. Do we talk about Hilda or the guy that went to go and slap police? I don't even think I want to talk to him. I don't talk about.
No, I mean, I'll talk about that guy, Sha.
I don't want to talk.
I'm
about
not-
I don't.
He deceived
I don't
us.
like. No, I don't like to give people or credence to things that don't make any sense. Right.
Oh.
So like.
But you know, there are 2 sides to it.
There's no. I think,
No. Me, I'm not.
I understand that I'm the
From the
old
conversation
person.
on Twitter,
Okay.
there are like 2 sides to it. Me,
Isaac, you do not. There's some things you do.
yeah,
not.
definitely.
So let's just think about it. Let's bring it home. Will I slap my dad?
No.
And
Because
that
he
is far,
insulted
but
me?
no,
I mean,
that is far. But no,
Dad and
what he
law.
did was obviously nonsense.
when you
What he
attack
did was
when you
nonsense.
attack a
You
police
shouldn't even
officer,
slap anybody.
Yeah.
Yeah, what he did was nonsense.
even if the person slapped you, You respect.
You know the crazy thing, he has bragged about slapping police for like he has in one of
that's-
his videos he
don't
was like, oh, you know how many police I don't
Let's
slap.
give this guy.
Like,
man.
that's-
Let's
Yeah.
not give
That's a
him
norm for him. I
Let's
hope like
He'll be
justice.
fine. I told my wife was talking about it. I said, it should be supported the president-elect. No, it's their they will release him now.
Oh, okay,
They will
true.
release him.
He's been arrested,
Let's
child.
talk
So
about- They said he gave himself in. Let's talk about Hilda, I beg. Let's talk
Yeah,
about
that's something
debate.
great.
Our new
To lift our
That was a
spirits.
long cook.
Yeah, 19 hours.
Ordinarily,
I
the
think it's
30 minutes
100.
I do
I
after-
want to plug
100.
100
Over
hours.
100.
100 hours and a half for something minutes.
Yup.
Me, is the banter that come with it. Some guy
Yeah.
said, in my whole life, I never cook 96 hours in cook.
No, you people are bad.
And I
No.
think I follow that category.
Are you
No,
serious?
I feel
Because I don't know to count the hours. Okay, but it's true, Sha, if you were in school and you cooked food, probably.
Yeah, you'd have done
But I
that.
mean, like, you get the joke, right?
No, but I think what I
super
respect,
proud.
about her is her ability to control the traffic to what she was doing. I mean, she got endorsement
had a great
pre
team
the
around her.
record.
Yeah.
She had a
Yeah.
great team
Jigga,
around
like
her.
she literally like pulled in those plugs
Yeah,
and
she-
got her the publicity she got, because a lot of people have attempted like Guinness status and we didn't hear
No,
about
about
it.
Yeah.
yeah.
Jigga, so well done on that end. And yeah, because of like the stunt she pulled publicity wise, she got like the supposed to be high people to come and recon with her.
Support,
Like the
yeah.
president even commented on
See.
her stuff. So I feel like that was
Ogwe, yeah, speaking a lot of big English. The girl is my hero, I beg. There's
she's your
no-
hero.
Because
I know
let me
fit
tell you,
cook that long,
because let me tell you, and you know, so it's close to home for me because I was talking about it this morning before I left the house. Or was it yesterday night when I got home? I was telling my mom.
That's why it's close to home.
Yeah, so you know, my mom is a caterer, only child, single mom. Mom's is a caterer. Mom's used to do
yeah.
this. I mean, when they go cook, but the reality is that the first thing that really dawned on me is that, you know, when it's somebody's time to do so, and that's what my mom said, that, you know, it's funny because Allah says, like, you know, they cook. Now, they may not do it the way
Back
she's
to
done it,
back.
but they cook
Yeah,
for
back to
hours.
back to
yeah.
back.
And then I saw some news where they said she was on her period doing
Yeah,
this.
yeah.
Wow.
So, like, those trying to now even just
She's
envision
in
it.
that period. Okay, good. This areas for collaboration
Yes.
loading.
So then I see okay, so she didn't sleep one day. 2 days.
Yeah,
3
3 days, 4
Four.
days.
I don't sleep for one day. I'm a
And
mess.
you're losing
Yeah,
it.
I'll be very cranky
I'm
the entire day.
Yeah.
Cranky.
Yeah.
Yeah. See, you're using this BB. I'm a mess
Yeah.
because it's as if my brain.
Yeah.
So whether that helped her, I don't even know. But so like when you think about that, like I don't tell my EAC if you want to do scholarship for, you know, chef Hilda cuisine scholarship for girls, because she's really done something that
That's
is
fine.
Yeah.
impressive.
Yeah.
And you know,
Yeah.
it's really, really awesome. And that's where I'm at. All those other big semantics. Oh, and then lastly, also no tribalism talk now. Because I
Yeah.
saw them. The
Yeah.
people that said GRV
Yeah.
and his family that they were
Igbos.
Igbos and whatnot. They went to
They
associate
went to
with
associate
Hilda
with someone from
from
Akwa
Akwa
Ibom.
Ibom.
No, but success brings people together.
Oh, you don't say.
I say.
Whereas elections divide us.
Yeah, no, that
Interesting.
election, no,
So that's what I have
success
to
brings
say.
people together.
That's what I have to say because
See one Ghanaian trying to even claim.
Yeah, it's Ghanaians are trying,
I'm like,
but that's just banter, Sha.
don't
That's just
trouble
banter.
going. I mean, let's
That's
leave
banter.
them where they are. Bro. Let's leave them where they are. Okay,
Wow.
So let me pick it up from what you already did in your intro, and that's natural. That's who you are. Anybody knows Okpe. Okpe is always energetic. Even when Okpe is going through a bad time, if you don't force her, you won't know what she's going through. And again, just like when we brought Maya for the mental health part 1, Okpe and I to go all the way back, same secondary school, and we've known each other all those years. And I mean, me, I'm an emotional person, but I'm also very friendly. And Okpe is one of those also ride or die friends, particularly for a season. You know, particularly when we get married, you know,
For a
we just
season.
we all sort of just go in different ways.
Yeah.
Before she got married to Mayokun, you know, we're very close, and you know, so let me rephrase that question to how did you get into the space of what became Bridge the Gap for girls and, you know, sex
Yeah.
ed?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think I would say youth service. Yeah,
Okay.
youth service did a lot of work because I was
Was
posted.
youth service before you went to school in the UK? Or after?
Yeah, before, but UK sort of contributed. So I would say, okay, Babcock, I was I was named ambassador plenipotentiary in Bangkok for the Russian embassy. So I think it opened me up to diplomacy and non-profit work. And so youth service, I was posted to the Ministry of Women Affairs. And I was handling child right cases, abuse cases, all those type of cases. And then after that, I interned at Project Alert on Violence Against Women. Then immediately after, I went for my master's.
Okay.
That affected me, and I think also helped because I had to stop my work. I stopped everything I was doing here in Nigeria, and it was a struggle, honestly, because I had already started building that traction, and people were already getting to know who I was.
It sounds to me like you're complaining that they sent you to school in the UK.
No, but was your master's in like humanitarian stuff?
Yeah, it was international development at
The first
Warwick
year was international law diplomacy.
and diplomacy.
Okay.
But it sounds to me like you're complaining that Momsi, because I remember it was Popsy that forced you to go to the UK.
They didn't force me,
They
but there was
encouraged-
just
they
that.
nudged
Pressure.
You know what? There was just that conversation of, after school, masters. My husband was different. My father-in-law offered my husband masters or business. Guy, choose. The same money I'll use to send you for masters
Set up.
or the same money to set up. My husband said, please, business, so give me the money.
Let's fast forward. Do you regret that? Like, do you regret going
Doing
to-
my masters.
or-
I think partly. But I won't say entirely. And, I told you before that I have myself to blame half of it.
Okay.
The other half, I feel like, okay, I was getting married immediately after masters. I finished my program October, got married December, came back to Nigeria in November.
Alright, we don't talk about it. My went all the way to the UK to
propose. I didn't know.
It was fun that time.
I didn't know. But the point was, I feel like if I wasn't planning a wedding, right? I was mixing school. I tried to take on a job. I got a job at the Warwick Business School.
Yeah.
And then planning wedding. It was a trio thing.
Okay,
So
so I was going to ask what your inspiration was to go to the UK, but I'm going to guess that your family sort of encouraged that.
Yeah, they encourage it. I won't say family. There's just a pattern, if we want to be honest with ourselves. Like, there's already a pre-existing pattern that after bachelors, because let's agree, bachelors isn't okay in Nigeria again. You can't compete like that. If you don't have a business, no, Dickbo. If you are going into the workforce, like you want to be employed, not that you're starting something up. Masters seems like the next thing.
I think this
The
is
next
now
phase.
skills. Like
Skills definitely. Like, it's now. Like, it's within the 5 years. It's within the 5 years that people are like sharpening. Or what else can I do besides education? But if we want to be honest, like, that is even recent development. So everybody's like, oh, you do bachelors, then after you do masters. I don't think. And okay, my siblings schooled abroad. I was the only one that schooled in Nigeria, and I chose to school in Nigeria. And my parents felt like, have that exposure.
My commissioner for women affairs, just plugging that.
Wait. My parents just felt like, have that exposure because you refused going abroad for bachelors. Like, have that exposure.
But so let's just, because people may not have heard. So you went to the UK, but you didn't just go to the UK. You went to one of the best schools in the UK, Warwick.
Yeah.
Do you think that the doors that were open or that are open for you today, and I know we're both people of faith, and our parents have done a great job with that, but does that exposure, has that helped you with your career? Because if you didn't go to school in the UK and you just continued women affairs, you probably would have continued doing NGO stuff.
Yeah.
You probably may not have been earning some of the money. Like, I remember when you were working in Lekki with Sage and all that. Those things were, when they see your CV and they say,
Warwick. Yeah.
So
I think it's two ways.
Okay.
I think it's two ways. So after Warwick, I came back almost immediately. But what I did is I wanted to test my market value over there. So what I did was I applied for a couple of jobs there before coming back to Nigeria, and Warwick opened doors over there. Like, I had this interview in the UK, I think Birmingham, and there were like 20. We were 20 of us in that interview deck. And me, I was just coming to just know my worth.
Yeah.
And there were 20 people there, and I was told that there were 3 batches before this 20. I was like, and they were like, they're selecting only 3 people. So I didn't even put my mind in it. And I honestly was just testing the waters.
Yeah.
And so I got on the train that evening, and I got a call back that, oh, congrats, you've been selected. I was one of the 3. And I'm like, what? Exactly. I mean, this was posh Birmingham, not the Niger polarized Birmingham. This was like, so for me, I think one of the things they saw was this girl is a work candidate. No way. Do you understand? Then they saw my non-profit work, and people, volunteer work helps a lot. Yeah. And so they see that you're a self-motivated person. You've done all these things. So I feel like in the UK, it helped. Yes. But when I came to Nigeria, number one, not everybody knows work in Nigeria. Because you are exposed to the international market.
It's not like you were going to the bank. It's not like you were going to the banking sector where
and it wasn't Oxford. Yes. It wasn't Cambridge. It wasn't... Work is top school. But you need to, but you need to be exposed to their educational system there to be able to identify that, this is gold, this is like an Ivy League sort of school. Yeah. So I would say over here, it didn't really put me out there. It's later that, I work with an organization called the Sustainability Professionals Institute of Nigeria. I helped them set up here in Nigeria. And, we're talking and I saw that some of my board members went to work and I had to now start that conversation. They're like, you went to work. I said, so you didn't see my CV? Before I applied? And I think what they saw was, these are the projects this girl has done. It wasn't really school. It was, this girl has done work. And they saw that and they were like, okay, we need you on board. So it wasn't really school.
Well, I want to ask though, if you go back to that interview that you had, because a lot of my people and friends in the UK and people that have sent in the UK talk about in the UK, before they employ somebody who is black and has a first class, they usually would employ their own whites that have bad results. Was that the case? Or is that just, you talk a lot? Is that?
Yeah, even I know people who change their names because when you put I was Adesoya Opeyemi on your CV, it's like, hey, Yoruba, not even English name. But I tend to disagree. I mean, number one, it depends on the type of job. And I feel like do stuff that make you stand out regardless. Do you understand? Yeah. I mean, I told you, that means 60 people applied that day. And they were not just black people. It was that night that they called me. Yeah. Do you understand? So I feel like I'm not bragging or anything like that. I feel like if you're in a field, try to make a presence in that field. Learn the stuff people need to learn in that field. And even at work, I went to work, but I discovered that there were other programs. There was a Harvard program that was free because you're a student, you have access to free stuff. There's a membership you have free access to because you're a student. Once you graduate, you don't have access to those things. So I feel like it's not just about, you're taking a master's. Your school offers opportunities beyond education and they offer even job opportunities. They offer like ISEC programs and things like that. Take advantage of those things as well.
The problem is that now people are just trying to leave the country. So like their focus is not really on those things. Their mind, when they come to me, I'm usually trying to push them this way, but they're like, Mr. Diko, I just
anything to leave the country.
I want to take my family out of here.
My conversation is why Japa ordinary? Why? Where you can be outstanding. Do you understand? Why do trenches mode when you can actually,
So let me just tell you something. The reality also is that when people come to my office, they're looking for the cheapest schools in the UK. So that's maybe 12,000 to 15, 16K. Yeah. Warwick was like 20-something thousand.
Yeah, I get that.
So let's talk about your experience studying in the UK, because Warwick it's the kind of dream school that, I'm doing a postgraduate now and I'm wrapping up soon. I had the opportunity to either go do it in the UK. But I remember that when I decided to start this course, somebody who had schooled in the US and UK, two friends were talking about how, having learned public policy in the UK and in the US, that this course is a lot more robust and has a better understanding of the Nigerian space. So I'm curious to know what your experience studying in the UK was. Also knowing that our own education system does not even really support a lot of what you do.
Yeah, okay, I would say that for education-wise, I was blown away. My first class, we had this conference. They even called it conferences. And, we just had this long board room. That was our class.
How many were in the class?
We were like 12 for my course. And the lecturer, I was just like, is this school? I I could do this. Then they'll say, oh, let's have coffee break. I'm like, coffee break?
Isaac, I'm going to you. I'm going for a course in you.
It was my mind was blown. But did I enjoy the experience in general? No. And okay, I would say one massive mistake I made was I got to the UK on Sunday. And resumed Monday. That was dumb.
Yeah.
And I would say also visa, putting my paperwork together, it took me some time. So don't ever do that. Like do a month prior at least so that you get to know the system. You can get to at least know your schedule, know where the market is. See, Ilewe does that. I'm going to give you props. Dikbo does a fantastic job in prepping people. And I'm not blowing his horns. I'm not blowing his horns. Dikbo takes his time with people to say.
They call me King of Japa here. Just go on. Sorry. Just if you're saying Dikbo too much, here it is. Sorry, go on.
Just had to spoil it.
Let's
just move on from that. Let's move on because you don't deserve it clearly. You don't deserve. I even spat on the mic. Sorry, Mike. So basically, try to acclimatize properly, and I see that it affected me bad. Number one, my health and cold weather, they don't align. They don't.
Was that your first time in the UK?
Yeah. I go to other places, but
that was the first time.
That was the first time in the UK, and I struggled, to be very candid. I struggled. And so health-wise, I was dragging.
Wow.
Then you're starting school. In fact, you start September, that's towards winter.
Yes.
Winter happens and you're like, the places I've gone to, you go maybe during summer, everywhere is still warm. The sun is out. And then it's freezing cold.
Yeah, you know that one of our last... I think our last actual guest, because Tosi is not a guest, Jennifer was talking about this disorder.
Seasonal affective disorder.
She was talking about 3 o'clock, everywhere is dark.
Those kind of things. I was trying. So you don't want to. You want to have done 1 month of putting yourself together because your mental health matters in all of this. If your head is not clear, you will struggle. And I saw that I struggled. And usually I'm someone that gets things and I'm excited about
life
things.
Of the party.
But not necessarily life of the party. But I'm not. I'm actually someone that enjoys to learn. Yeah. But I saw that I was struggling. And the other thing was, I told you, I was planning a wedding, just immediately, after school. So I was distracted. Then also, I was there were 2 blacks in my set, but there were some classes where I was the only girl and the only black.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So, I felt isolated at some point. Eventually, I opened up, started mixing with people. My best friend was even a Pakistani girl and all of that. But that culture shock, and UK people are very private. Very private.
Sure.
They just want to do their thing and go. They don't want to mix. So you might think they're even racist. They're not. It's just them not wanting to hover around and things. So we just automatically say these people are racist. They're not.
We are more,
We're a communal people. Yeah, we like family, we like community, and they're not like that. Even I lived in a shared house. There were 6 of us. You will not see any of us as brake lights throughout. You will even see us in the parlor. And okay, I'm a private person too, when I'm in my... So you don't see any of us. Imagine a Niger house. I mean,
everybody's
you people...
Who they cook?
People have even done full timetable. Who is sweeping? Who is in this?
That's really...
None of us.
For us,
Although I was in a professional house, I was the only student there. So they didn't even want me there because I was a student, because they have issues with students. Yeah, but the guy was like, he saw my papers, he saw my CV, and he was like, you look responsible and all of that. So those were my mistakes. Then because it was cold, I didn't see the need to socialize as much. There were different events, Warwick had several events. I only selected business inclined events, which I feel wasn't the best. Yes. And I would have built my network system wider. I would have had somebody in different countries now. Yes. So if I had a project in, say, the UK, I should have contacts there that, guy, this is what I'm doing. Can you give me information? So Nigerians, when you Japa, don't stick to your Nigerian,
and that's it.
your
That's it.
Nigerian circle.
I, you know, when I said the other day, and Okwe was reminding me that, I said Japa is like marriage. You've got to have a plan. This is exactly what we're talking about. Because I'm asking myself so many questions, and I know we were talking in that period, and I mean, I knew a bit about what you're saying now, but was it not having maybe a counselor here or not going through orientation there? Because US is big on orientation, UK not so much so big on orientation. But like, what do you see, what would really bridge that gap? And using your
like
words,
you said,
what would happen?
I didn't have someone like you at the time. I knew you were doing that, but I felt like I had already gotten my papers. I had done everything. I felt like your consultation was like restricted to like the process. So I didn't feel the need to have that conversation with you. And I feel like in Nigeria, we're not used to orientation. We're not. So the UK has orientation. No,
actually, I don't think I did orientation.
Yeah, UK Warwick had orientation, but I'm not used to being put through. So I didn't even bother. Eventually, I found out and I was like, "Shoot, it's already like halfway through my program."
And their programs are very short, like
short,
like a year, but like in like 6 months, you're almost done.
Yeah, so I feel that's another problem. I would encourage people to do more 2-year masters programs if you are on emergency. Like if you're getting to the country the weekend before, just do 2 years so that you know that your first year, even my older brother was like, "Okay, you are doing a 1-year program in 6 months. You're not acclimatized. You're not." So I won't recommend. I won't recommend that. Just do online 1 year. I mean, I just know that.
You were attending like social events and.
I had fiance. I mean, that's what they call it. Fiance is girls. Fiance.
Time.
So I mean, I did. You know, if I was a single Pringle, I think I would have intentionally gone out.
So you were. I think you already you were dating before you left. Now
we were dating, but Christmas of that year he came to propose, and I think that was another major distraction.
Sorry.
When you see videos, we're not blaming you.
I have a big question. So how did you handle like long distance?
It was good. Like I said,
I was hoping you would ask me, like you just allow me segue. You get why?
Please,
let me allow.
There's no why. Just answer.
Go one of
I need to hear this. I need to, because I've never heard this. I've not heard this before.
No Chelsea banter for 2 months.
It's opposite.
I need to hear it. I need to hear it.
So if you go on our earlier episode, in Babe for There, don't come. So that's he's dealing with it.
I'm not doing anything. Just give me.
But it was difficult though, because I remember I was in a life. It wasn't easy.
But you know the good thing. Why don't we thank God for WhatsApp? I mean, in those days, because I had an ex-boyfriend that at that time there was no WhatsApp. I was spending credits like no, was there pinging then? Like I'm saying phone calls. WhatsApp was not even having calls then. Okay. So I feel like there's really no excuse. It's only if a person doesn't want to be kept, honestly. And if you're a proper Christian practicing no sex till marriage, what's your problem?
Like it will just be conversation.
What's your problem?
Is also very key though. Like,
and you have video calls. So no. I feel like whoever doesn't want to be kept is the person that would, but I don't think there's an excuse. If you guys like choose, once in 6 months or once in a year, let's meet up. Let's find, something. Yeah. So I didn't even know he was going to come. So when he came, it was a shock. So, but he helped, honestly, because
he just pulled up. He didn't say you were coming.
I opened the door and behold,
Baba was on his
husband.
Are you serious?
Husband,
bro, that's crazy.
Flowers.
I'm taking
conversation
notes. I'm taking notes.
For another day.
Can I get your husband's number? I need notes.
I'll send his number. You call him babe since.
It's money that I'm giving anybody. If you want to add money to our family, if you're not adding money, forget.
For consultancy on top proposal, I'll go you to. I'll go you to.
But every case is different, because for her and Mayokun, they had been friends before. Right.
We've been friends since I was 10.
It's also different.
So,
I don't know if she won't mind me saying this, but Mayokun was ready to marry. She was still a babe.
Please, let's go back to the Japa series. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the end of my private conversations on camera.
So even have a question concerning, but it's not about you.
Okay.
No, that's my own job.
How were you able to manage the mental health struggle?
She had me. She won't say it, but she had me. We would always have those.
I actually went to the school counselor. I did.
Wow.
I did. Yeah. I did. At some point, I know that I was struggling. It was affecting my education. I don't think I was even proud of the grades I came out from work with. Do you understand? So I think at some point, I sent the counselor a message. And I also reached out to my school professors because they're actually, you can schedule like 20 minutes conversations with them. And there was a particular homework I had that I had to say, look, I'm struggling and you have to set this off. And she understood and she was like, sure, like get yourself together and let's see what can be done. So that's different from Nigeria.
I think doesn't reflect. I think it reflects.
Oh no! You have free conversations and all of that. That's something we don't have here. Like
within the next 5 years, one of the things that I'm going to have to bring in maybe the alumni network of all private schools. Like our schools here need to be better in understanding mental.
Yeah,
I don't know how long it will take us.
I have this experience in CU. So,
he's a CU boy. Yeah. It shows. It
goes for life.
That's why he doesn't wear suit and all that. He always wants to be casual. Like his intentional.
Yeah, it makes you feel. Yeah, I understand it.
So like there was a semester. It was not my final semester. My first semester in final year. So I checked my result and I saw an F in one course, and I'm like, because that course show me die. You understand? Like it too show me. You understand?
Yeah.
So I remember I went to meet my parents. I'm on final year. I don't bank one course. My dad was like, my parents were not. Well, like, we're gonna see the lecturer or something like. But me, I was like, what's happening? So when we resumed school after the holidays, I went to see the two lecturers for the course. I went to see the woman. She was like, "Go and meet the man."
Like that,
and then when I went to meet the man, he was like, he didn't even want to listen. He was like, let me. So he checks the laptop, opened the exam, like, you got 14/17 in the exam. And I'm like,
how is that possible? Yeah.
And you never allow me. Like I wanted to tell him, let me see my script or something. He was just like, get out. And he was in front of like other people. And he was just like, get out, you're not serious. Bro. I literally cried in that guy's office. Like me, maybe hard guy from my department and say, bro, I literally cried.
You could have asked him to remark on.
Yeah.
So my mom, I didn't give up. I already gave up. I gave up on it because like I kept following up. They were just dismissive.
You just tell me that you actually didn't.
My mom came. I gave up. So after like 3 weeks, my mom just came. I wasn't expecting her. She just showed up.
She not go far from school before.
I'm so building. Come and meet me there. I went there. So she actually has a friend that's a lecturer about. She used to tell me about the woman, but I know,
we know they like their
exactly.
All those friends, we know they like their
So the woman now followed me to the female lecturer's office, the female lecturer of that course, and they were talking. They talk on the long one. So they say, all this, make I don't see the script, all these yarns, no concern me. So the woman said I should come to our office the next day. I already talk to them. I got all manage go, you understand? So I went the next day. I didn't have class that day, but I just, because whether you get class or don't get class, you have to be tired, all those things. And me, I was too tired. I started struggle. I went, let me see the 14/70. So the woman, she took me to the exam room. They brought out the script. Before she showed me, she don't already open mouth. So I don't already know, say, then don't.
Yeah, mistake, yeah.
So she just brought it, I saw 63/70.
Can you imagine?
And she's like, well, sorry, this. Then she took me to the HOD's office.
Yeah, I feel like going to remark on my speech.
She took me to the HOD's office, and the HOD is like, he was like, oh, they can't something that the deadline for revalidation of school.
I
didn't tell you that this bus board has come before. They went to change it sharply. So like in Nigeria, we don't have. Like the lecturers are just,
and the vetting system is crap. There's even no vetting. No, what happened to you? You could have taken it up properly.
I haven't heard this one
I'm
before.
angry. No, but it happens. Sometimes teachers are tired, and maybe procrastination.
It makes you wonder how many.
Sometimes they procrastinate, and you see, it's 2 days to deadline, and they're doing.
Yeah.
Why should and I feel like the ones you can maybe use technological aid for. Then do it. I know that all you're marking is theory.
And then if you look at, she said in her class they were 12. Mm-hmm. That would be. I mean, even my guy that studied in Cyprus, he's like, when he was doing his project, his lecturer was like,
his supervisor was one-on-one. Yeah.
My supervisor just tell you, go and bring something analysis. But I'm like, bro, I don't even know what this is.
Yeah.
So okay, what influenced your decision to come back? Obviously, you got married. Did you consider telling my uncle to move to the UK though? I don't think I got back.
I didn't like the UK. Like I already talked about weather and my health. But when I started getting good, I got 4 jobs. You know, and from testing, then I saw the pay. I called my dad. I said, Daddy, quick one. I got some jobs here, and I sent my dad like the terms of reference, and there was a particular one that was on girls' abuse. I held on to it, and I feel like even my husband knows that I'm very passionate about my work, and he's always like, I hope we never get to tell you to choose. I would choose my family, obviously, but painfully. Do you understand? So I was in that fix, and my dad's like, you have a guy that really loves you over here. Like, my husband is a manufacturer. So does he want to move his factory over there?
Let me tell you, of course, not going to ever say this, but quite nearly considered. It's okay.
Are you serious?
I'm telling you. So we'll open our...
Yeah, for we women, we give up a lot. That's conversation for another day. Dikwa doesn't like this conversation, but we women give up a lot, right? Like, I am happy I gave up that because the guy is blowing my mind. No, I'm not going to lie. I still told him yesterday, thank God I married you. And thank God I did not compromise like our relationship for money. No, it's not God when. You have to be gold standard guy to get this guy. No, Michael is gold.
You know me, if I don't like it, I could tell you.
Yeah, no, Michael is gold. So let's shift that one. But it was a tough conversation because like you're seeing that, you're valued here. I came back to Nigeria in 6 months. I didn't have a job. I didn't. And that even affected my mental health. Like, it's open now. I mean, I should get a job. Yeah. But nobody even, like, you write to organizations and you don't get feedback because they're hiring their family members when you know that you have all the qualification for those jobs. So that I came back to Nigeria to marry, to be honest. I feel like if I wasn't getting married immediately, I would have stayed back 6 months or a year, test their waters and all of that. But I didn't like that environment, if I want to be honest. I didn't.
What didn't you like about the UK?
The cold, the lack of communal living. I struggle with that. I'm a private person, but I was surprised that I'm private. I still want that family system. It's actually very they're too private. Yeah. So I think I will struggle. And I also don't want to leave Nigeria to be in Nigeria in another country, if you know what I mean. Like, and I think that's one of the things
you didn't want to like mix like proper with like other Nigerians.
Not mix, but why am I in a different? Why am I paying so much money to be there? And then my influence is just where I'm coming from. That's a problem. That's waste of money. So even like I know Nigerians Japa, and we're still going to Nigerian churches. We're still going to Nigerian. It's good to do those things, but the point of living is to change your psyche in some way, get better influence. So don't restrict yourself to the same things you're running from. Learn to do things differently. Learn to do things better because sometimes these guys offer more. Sometimes they're not even as good as you. And then you even prop yourself and say, this one is not even, but have a different setting. Have like that diversity. I had Chinese friends. I had really good Chinese friends. I had Pakistani friends. I had British friends. I had American friends. And they all, like, coming back here. I know I've not been active on Bridge the Gap for some time, but I'm launching out now. I'll show you my kits. And you will see that there's a lot of Oyinbo influence in what I'm doing. No, it's true. Because I saw that, they're very detailed. They're very meticulous. Am
I on the board of Bridge the Gap? Because
you're not on the board of Bridge the Gap.
I revived
How
that
did
couple of months
you
ago
gave me a call.
I gave you a call.
But I didn't do much about that call for a while.
Let's go into your sex ed. Okay, go on.
Okay, yeah. I wanted to ask a question concerning the sex.
Yeah, so how did you, I know about the Bridge the Gap. You would go with people to public schools and the girls and all that.
Yeah.
They abuse, the need for sanitary pads and stuff like that. So just tell us, more about how did you get into the sex education program aside from Ministry of Women Affairs?
Yeah.
When you got back.
Yeah. So when I got back, what I did was I went to different schools and I said, what are the issues you're struggling with your kids? What's going on in the schools? Okay. And that I am a trainer, I'll do it for free. Like, just let me know, let me get feedback on what the problems are. And the problems were sex, bullying, sex. So I decided to just streamline it because I first did like some random trainings and then I stay back and I get 4 or 5 girls saying, oh, I've been raped by my mommy's brother, my cousin. Do you understand? So when I saw that this was a major prevalence and it's so rampant, it's not even, so I just said, no, I'm going to focus on this. Then for sex education, the course, I saw that day in, day out, I'm having this conversation. These children are going back home and the cycle is repeated. They are raped again. Or they're going to abuse again. Nothing stops it. And I am one person. And I'm the kind of person that I don't even like to revert people to other people because I'm not sure of the standard of what this person will get. So I prefer taking it on myself. And I just said, this is not sustainable. And so I discovered that parents were a part of the problem.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
And I just saw that, number one, you don't have conversation with your kids about sex. You don't. There was a case I talked about this boy that said being abused by nanny at 4. She was sleeping with him at 4. Yeah. But he's a baby boy, right? And he was getting sexually turned on. Like, he didn't see it as pain. He didn't see it as abuse. It went on till he was like 12, 13. Do you get? Because this was a good... No, this was actually a very good nanny. Those type that you guys just adopt and just...
It becomes part of the family.
She was already a part of the family. They just raised her. Do you understand? They adopted her. And so she just traveled for something and they discovered. Do you understand? In that instance, the parents never had conversations about sex at all. This is your penis, this is your bum. If anybody touches you here, talk to mommy about it, talk to daddy about it. At least the first time she does it, he could have gone to say, even if he enjoyed it, his innocence will have still taken him back to his parents to say, Auntie touched me here. And he would say innocently, like my son, the nanny spanked him on his bum and he came to me, Auntie touched my bum. And he was like, do something about it. And, I understood where she was coming from, but I was grateful he came to me. Yeah. Do you get? So things like that. Then also, parents don't know who they bring into their house.
Yes. Boundaries.
They don't talk on boundaries. They don't say, So I feel like parents, then also, your child goes through things. It's not only counselor that should be chopping the responsibility. Your children should be able to come back home to you to say, this happened. I know a girl who was bullied in school because she was on her period a lot. Then she wasn't taking care of herself. She was smelling all of that. She didn't really know what to do. Her mom was very busy. And so she was getting bullied in school. They used to call her pig, disgusting. And so she would come back home and because there's no conversation, it's the house help that was teaching her, use tissue as pad. My course, I even made like a drama group act it out, that had particular story. And she was using tissue as pad. The mom didn't know she had started seeing her period. So I'm just like, these conversations need to be had. And that's why I think I also got tired of going to school day in, day out. So I said, let's record a course. Let's record a course. And I did it in age brackets so that 0 to 5, this is the kind of conversations you'll be having. 6 to 10, this is the kind of conversation. And this is how you can support. This is how to break the ice. So it's even a 12 module course. It's not a talk show. It's a proper course that you should take biro and pen. And it'll be on Udemy on the 22nd of June. I'm taking advantage. It'll be on Udemy and Coursera on the 22nd of June. We're launching it. You're invited. Necker House. You're invited to. Hi, you're invited. So, no, I feel like it's painful seeing children go through what they go through. Then they go online and go and start watching porn because there's no conversation at home.
And it's really, Isaac, I wanted to say, if Victoria should come and sit down here. Let me go and sit. It's funny because it's something that they used to talk about when we were in school, but they never really talked about it.
Yeah, true.
And I've had some experiences with nannies or house helps.
You
like we
personally?
Yeah, personally. And just like you said, as a young boy going into your teens, you didn't understand. Well, you understood so that it doesn't so that I don't absorb myself because I was sharp. But like the whole understanding the bum and the private parts of a lady. And if I wrote a script about what I went through, they will call it some sort of sexual assault that you go through, because, like you said, that nanny that she's referred to now may either just be lonely, and that boy is the one she's taking advantage of. She's watching a movie or something.
Or she could have been raped herself or abused herself.
And so I had that experience, and it was only recently that I could talk about these things. Like, I shared in the office. I said, like, you can now talk about it now. But when I was going through it at 14, 15, I was just stupid and being a boy. Like, I didn't know, there wasn't any boundary.
Yeah.
And it's really nice what Ope has done, because now I'm a guy. I can't really.
You're a father now, so you're a father now. So I feel like it's not just, to be fair on our parents and our parents' generation, they didn't know better. And they didn't have those conversations with their parents. No, and the other thing is, they didn't have social media.
The problem I have with our parents sometimes is that even when they didn't know and you try to tell them, they make it seem like
they were scared. They were scared.
There are two things. When you complain to them, that dismissive. When they find out that what you're saying is true, they blame you. And then they
over-exaggerate the matter.
Or they just keep, it's a family thing. Or let's
I feel like for them, they were raised with hush-hush.
Yeah.
You cannot give what you don't have. That's why, Dikpa, I understand. You can't give. Do you know how they were raised? I
can't say some things on the pod.
No. Dikpa, if you see how they were raised.
Like, they were raped. Even some were raped.
A lot were raped.
They didn't even see it as rape.
In fact, there's some stories.
Culture,
no,
you can't even. To be honest, even girls in my generation have been raped and they didn't see it as rape. I was talking to someone as far just last year. So she posted something she posted a conversation about one of our friends on Snapchat. That one had been raped by her boyfriend, but they didn't call it rape. They were like,
he just had his weed. He was in the mood.
I wasn't in the mood, and he wasn't. And like replied
to
the snap. I'm like, bro, this is rape, and she's like, She didn't even say, and she's like, well, no, he's her boyfriend now. And I'm like, no, this is rape, take it up. And she's like, well, she doesn't want to get into it because it's the girl's life. And I'm like, oh, okay. Voila.
No, like our parents, number one, they were raised hush-hush. Number two, they didn't have social media. Now they're double jeopardy because they are having children with social media that they didn't know they didn't even know existed.
My mom, who is not a grandma, like, I'm so happy. Like, she don't get phone. They watch like
all
these
videos.
It, she's seeing it herself. And that's the part of learning. So it's sex ed. Like, the people don't understand what the definition of education is.
Yeah.
Like, to educate yourself is to learn.
Yeah.
To drop your previous knowledge that was probably, false or is no longer in play for something new and something better.
And please, everybody, I'm not telling you to buy my course, which you should, but I'm telling whatever you need to do to educate yourself. We're talking about your kids. I mean, they should be the most, and I know that we're in a generation of women, women wanting to be career people, and that is all great, but not at the expense of your kids, because your kids there's just a timeline to having them. After 18.
Yeah. After 18, they go their way.
See them.
These days now, from 14, they think they're
so I would say, like, even for me, I think I struggled beginning of marriage. Like, I was very annoyed, like, why is it me, the woman that has to? But I saw that my husband too took it on himself to make himself available so that we're meeting each other halfway and being present, because we know that we have 18 years. I have 2 boys. And we know we don't have much time. So let's prioritize them. Yeah, and after 18, in fact, by 15, we have our lives. We can pursue wherever. You can pursue wherever. So don't sacrifice your children, because there are people who are still raising their children in their 40s. Like, the children are 40. But because you didn't put in what you should, you're the one sponsoring that person's adulthood. And you don't want to live that life. So I know career is important, but I still have my career. But I'm not going to do it. There were some jobs that were offered, and we evaluated it and said, nah, this can't work.
There was the time you were in Lekki now.
Yeah, and my husband said this can't work. And I told them, they said, okay, let's do 3 days a week.
It wasn't easy.
And negotiate if you can. Do you understand? So don't sacrifice your children for career or money, because it will haunt you later. Your peace of mind that you think you are trying to buy their education, you're trying to get money for all these things, but you might not get as much, but enough. You can work with that.
Yeah, so,
I mean, I'm okay. Go.
Yeah,
I wanted to announce. Go on.
Yeah, so it's good that you mentioned that you have two boys, because something I have noticed, even especially amongst my friends, and even while growing up, there's no much focus on the boy child when it comes to sex education. It's always about the girl child. Oh, girls don't go to this person, don't go here, don't dress like this, blah blah. Nobody talks about, oh, boys don't do this.
Yeah.
Her body is her body. It's her choice if she wants.
Yeah.
It's not really talk, especially in our schools. Because I remember while I was in secondary school, GSS2 particularly, my social studies teacher is flogging all the girls for doing this, do that, but the boys are just vibing. When boys go to farm and do whatever they do, they'll just flog the boy, but the girl takes like all the shame. She's won't get it.
Yeah.
So like there needs to be focus on the boy child.
And that balance, like take my course. Don't even go and get information anywhere, because I'm very, very keen on this. We're raising useless men that are going to end up being people's husbands and people's
fathers. Allow me to say so that they don't think. I tell people a lot. The average man is naturally stupid and foolish, because
I'm not going to go that route.
No. Well, you said we're raising.
No. A lot of parents actually. You're raising perfect wives for who?
That's what I'm saying.
For who?
So I'm trying to let you know that naturally, from when we are young, if you don't train a young man the right way, we are naturally stupid and foolish. We're the ones that slap. I did not say that. We're the ones that slap, pull pants down. We're the ones that are mischievous.
You wee on the fence. Why?
Yeah, boys. Clearly.
Why?
So don't let's not sugarcoat it. Now, what do parents do? Now, the problem is that we raise the girls well. Not really we. It's actually the mothers raising the girls. And it's the same way they tell the girls that they can tolerate anything in marriage. The fathers are on the streets or in the National Assembly or in the board meetings chasing money, which is good, but not raising their sons.
And now, in fact, now women are chasing money and in boardrooms. So nobody's raising anybody again.
No, somebody is nanny.
Exactly. Yeah. That's the reality of
teacher that is not well paid.
Yeah.
Teacher who also has his or her own family that is angry. So see the cycle that you now say nanny raped this, teacher was abusive. What do you expect? And you see, I tell people, because I mean, I want to say that I'm a busy person. And I look at how busy I am and I see how I can move things around. Don't lie to me. You're not that busy for your family. Let's not
see how much time we spend on social media.
Let's not.
Imagine reprioritizing that time for your kids.
I was saying that Saturday, Sunday I was home. And I mean, this is just one of those weekends because the next Saturday is going to be work and all that. But like, I was home till evening on Saturday till I had to go to the office, and I was home, most of Sunday. Like, what is it that you cannot really do from home, even if it's just the weekend? Like, let's give you your Monday to Friday. And if you want to be a Christian, let's give you your Monday to Saturday and say, okay, God said work 6 days. What are you doing on Sunday? You're likely chilling with your friends at the golf club or drinking alcohol with your guys or watching soccer and all that. These children have not seen you all week.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm saying. Men need to learn. Men don't do a lot of talking.
Yeah.
And that's why it's unique, because these days, I'm in my friends' lives, just as I'm friendly with their wives or the ladies, I am more difficult on the guys because I know that we didn't have these things growing up.
Yeah.
So if I am just lax about it, when I know that I'm not lax with my family, I'm enabling you to continue to do the nonsense that you're doing. Yeah. Or the nonsense we learn from our parents, either in their absence or in their presence. Yeah. So that's what I'm saying. I can bully. We're silly. Guys, look, National Assembly, look at what they're doing. That's a place that is 65 to 75% men.
Yeah.
And any of them can come stand in front of me and tell me that you think you are a good man.
Yeah.
Forget the rape and the other issues. Just looking at your country where people are stealing and there's nothing wrong because you are also stealing.
Yeah.
Police are not well paid, so they are trying to hustle their own way, just like you are hustling your own way.
Yeah.
And they're largely men.
Yeah.
But the women are not aside because one just wanted to win the governorship election, and we saw her as she's allocating government contracts to herself. So you raise bad people or you are absent, either in your presence or your absence, you would get stupid and foolish people.
Yeah.
So what is happening in Nigeria today, what's happening in our education system, is either the absence of the knowledge or the presence of the no knowledge.
Yeah.
Or no learning.
Yeah.
And that's really... Sorry?
The presence of the foolishness.
presence of the foolishness. Because naturally, at our simple state that guys, what do we do now? I mean, when we're in the office, what do we do to our sisters in the office? We tease them. That's what makes us happy. So if nobody teaches us balance and like what not to say, what's the boundary, what not to do, we'll just be who we are. We're not stupid. That's who we are.
So what Dikwa is trying to say in conclusion, take my course.
Oh yeah, so I'm going to announce. So I mean, so that I will not be like I'm going for APC's tickets. I mean, my birthday is coming up and there's some stuff coming up.
I'm going to be 30 next month.
Yeah. We're going to announce and all that, but I'm going to try to get the course for. I don't know if I should say every university, every
is
public
it expensive?
School. Yeah, maybe I should ask the course, but if I can get it for every public school in my local government, I will. Because I'm coming for them in that local government. They just don't know.
We'll see what we can do.
Because every public school, at the very minimum, needs to be able to get this free of charge. One of the reasons why people send people to public schools is because they cannot afford, and
they might not. To be honest, they might not be able to take the course. But I'm willing to partner with you. Do town hall trainings. How do they take
the course though?
No, we can do town hall trainings for them.
We definitely would do that.
Let's do that. Let's do town hall trainings. Because there'll be that excuse of, and I don't mind doing it for free because
we will do it. Trust me, we will do it. It's a serious matter. I mean, I have 2 adopted children who go to public schools. And it's funny because when I was growing up, I always said, if I have my way, my children will go to public schools because I see how America has done it. The public schools are better all over the world than private schools. Yeah. It's only in Nigeria. And it's because
I went to a good public school.
Thank you. And it's because nobody
in your time.
Federal or state?
Yes.
Secondary.
Is it federal or state?
State.
Oh, are you serious?
Yeah. So, and it's because nobody's Is it?
Can I say this?
Yeah.
No, yeah, this is your choice.
Yeah, but I'm sure if you evaluate it now, it might not be the same standard.
Yeah, because then they upgraded the governor then new. I got free textbooks.
Yeah. You might not find out now because
and the funny thing I'm going to tell you guys too, because I'm not just going to poo public schools and all that. Public schools have fantastic teachers. They have a lot of good teachers, but they also have some lax and terrible because that's how it is. And so
and just like how we've moved from Japa to wherever we are right now.
I mean, because that's why we are here today. I mean, they'll hear me talk about Japa here and there. I mean, when you go abroad, it's the same thing. I mean, at our own level, right? Like Isaac was talking about the Snapchat case. A couple of years ago, they started talking about consent and no consent. I think that was 2 years ago, a year and a half ago. At our generation, where and I heard people say, even if you're in a relationship and it's been consensual in the past, and I even heard in marriage that midway through a woman can, I mean, these things confuse. So that's why you're here. I personally don't understand.
While in uni, we had this course. So the lecturer said for part of our say we should bring a topic to come and discuss in class. And someone
it's not you.
It's not me. So one of the she was like, I think second best graduation student, like she was really smart. So she came and her topic was on marital rape. And as she started, she put her PowerPoint, everything. The professor, he said there's nothing about marital rape, that she should go and bring a new topic. That's what is marital rape.
Can you imagine?
Everybody was trying to explain that, bro. He said no, that once she's your wife, that the deed must be done. Whether you're tired, whether this concern.
Did you see the case of this babe who just had cesarean section? A week after her husband climbed her, and she said there was nothing wrong with it.
I saw that thing.
I've had 2 CS.
I
know what CS pain looks like.
I didn't see that. And this is also the reason why I abstain from social media. People wonder why someone like me who has been on social media for a long time, I'm not interested in all those likes and clickbaits. This is the reason. Because sometimes you don't want to just go off. Like you just don't want to pick up your phone and just record that.
How can a woman have bandages on her? You can't even walk.
It's even worse than natural.
Yes, I can tell you for a fact that it was hell. Like I couldn't walk.
My wife gave birth and walked out. Now, like they called me.
I could not walk.
Out too. She walked out. People with CS.
You cannot walk. In fact,
the pain is.
Then somebody will. My brain is
trying to process it. So again, we talk about the kind of men you the balance.
I feel like ladies.
They talk about this teach a man to fish or something. There's this business thing, They need to teach a man how to live
and
life.
And please, women, let's raise better sons.
No.
I just saw something here.
Parents, it's true. Like dads, I feel like even for we women, we excuse our boys and say, he's a boy. Then we say, you have to be clean. Please, let's involve dads. Then let's raise boys. I don't see how, I'm just remembering the pain because it's very personal for me. And I'm remembering...
Don't worry. I can imagine.
I'm livid. Honestly. Let me just hold it here.
And so what do you say about the professor in a Christian school who also, do we put that on, I'm not going to blame Covenant because it's a business as well, but do we put that on the church? Do we put that on the family as an institution? I as a believer, I put it on the church because we do a lot of talking and we talk nonsense. How does a man think that, first of all, we have these things sometimes, and I know in the office they tease me sometimes. It's just that I tell them, if you see the way I'm coming from, you understand that I'm not just fussing around. But you know that as men, we have this thing where whatever we say is right. And that's why that man was able to shut that down. In certain contexts, like that context is a context of two people. He came from the man side and even the biblical side of or the old covenant side of we're married. He can even quote New Covenant and say, Bible says that you should not keep your body away from your wife and your... But there's a place of understanding now.
Dick Paul, please, this submission text that we always go to.
Who is teaching men?
The Bible talks about, even before the woman, man, love your wife as Christ loved the church. Jesus was on cross, so...
Yes.
Jesus chopped nail, chopped beating on top his babe, the church. So men... always they focus on that part, but I pity men when I read that scripture because the onus on men is huge. You are supposed to literally sacrifice yourself for her.
Was it not you I was saying last week? I said,
and they focus on submit, and I feel like the church has a lot to do because
the church has a lot to do.
The counseling units, what are we doing with our counseling units?
Let's Japa, but let's not bother because
I think we've been motivated. We need to have a different. Even our crew, they are tired of us. They want us out of here.
I have a question that has goes back in
life.
Because I'm really curious about. You said how that you were exposed to new things out there. You had Pakistan best friend.
Yeah.
So how has this influenced your involvement in sex education?
There's a book in my bag. Can you help me bring it?
Okay.
Yeah. So I would say that it has helped a lot. I even joined the Royal Overseas League while I was there in the UK because it's a league of so much diversity, the UK people who are in the social sector. And I saw the way their trainings were. Like, I'm launching this course and typical Okpema Conjola will have just done a course and just put it online. Now I'm thinking, I'm going to do a launch. Now I'm thinking, I need endorsements for this launch. Now I'm thinking, always Ultra can partner in this launch. I'm thinking beyond the project. I'm thinking marketing. I'm thinking publicity. I say a YouTube channel because I knew that I needed to start putting myself out there. The typical Nigerian way I would have done it is just do this thing that I'm doing and even see this. Can you guys see it? It's part of a sanitary kit. And I did I'm launching a sanitary kit as well. But I just said, it's not just about the sanitary kit where I put pads and things inside. I also have to put information for girls whose parents cannot talk to her about periods. And I put this together. It's like a guide it's a care guide. And it has like a comic in the beginning because children don't like to read. I honestly would not have thought that far. Do you understand? And then it has a word puzzle at the end.
So basically,
do you understand? It shifts your paradigm. It shifts you think bigger, you think outside. And it doesn't mean we Nigerians are not, it doesn't mean that. It just means that you see other perspectives and you can cook this soup better. Like you can put broccoli, you can put shaki, you can put everything.
So I during my postgraduate class, I took a course on developmental communication. And so they brought in someone who's an alumni of the school.
Yeah.
And he he said something on an NGO for female genital mutilation, and it's stuff like this that he does, because you need to understand that, okay, I have a passion for communicating with children on sexual education. I need to understand how best I can communicate with them.
How do they reason?
Yeah, so when you said oh, children don't like to read, so you did the comic thing, that's actually is a smart thing, because most of the things I learned as a child was from cartoons.
Super Strikers.
Yeah, all those things, So
and I'm going to even do that kind of, comic that has seasonal things that people can look forward to. But like I said, like just, seeing how people do things. And it's not just over there, like over here too. You're doing anything. Don't restrict your project to, just Nigerians or just you. Which Nigerians do a lot? It's my project. You just do it. You don't even tell anybody. Your parents don't even know you're doing anything until it comes out. Yes. Like this, and even this comic section. The founder of I Create Club, it's like one of the biggest clubs in Nigeria. She has a club in every private school and even public school, and she teaches children. It's a non-profit. It's her business, but she does it for free. She teaches children creativity, and she moves it to a different level, just bringing children to say, okay, there's more than just sitting down in class. And I had to show her, I want to do this. And she was the one that said, okay, I think a comic would be good. And I wrote my story for her. She said, no, this story cannot fly. I took the criticism and everything. So collaborate and don't restrict it to just Niger and everything. And there are online courses out there. Ask what do you call it? King of Japa.
you know it.
As Deco, where are the online courses? You don't have to leave your locality. You don't have to leave Nigeria to get that exposure. I took a Harvard course at a crazy discount. I know that I'll have been paying thousands of dollars. I ended up paying $100. Do you understand? And there's some that are even free. I have several UNICEF courses that I have UNICEF certification on for free.
Yeah.
Do you understand? So you might say, I don't have friends in the abroad, but there are access to free trainings on the internet, free. Take that and no more excuses.
Okay. So I wanted to ask about the sex ed program. What's your target? Because I mean, it's always great to and I'm sure you're not the only person trying to do something like this in Africa and Nigeria.
Yeah.
What's your target audience, and how do you intend to who do you want to focus on?
So my target audience are in two categories.
Okay.
My first is parents, not even children again, which was the mistake I was making before, focusing on children. And it wasn't sustainable. They were always coming back to me. I'm one person. I have over 300 returning people and calls. And so my focus now is schools. And I'm doing a package for schools where it's all in one. I will give you an hour of parent-teachers association training where I get access to your parents. I train your teachers, I train your parents. And there's already PTA meetings, so I can leverage on that. Then after, I want to train parents first before I go to the children, so that when I talk to your children can go back to you that has already been trained to handle them. Yeah. Do you understand? So the package is train parents, train teachers, train counselors. The counselors one is different because I force you to take the UNICEF course and be certified on child right protection, so that you even know how to identify when a child is going through abuse and things like that. And so that you, as a school, you have someone who is really equipped to manage this. And I should be able to identify. In fact, if you bring a counselor to me, after like an hour with the counselor, I'll know if this person should be sacked or not. Do you understand? So know what you have. Then after that, we can now do trainings for the children. And the trainings are in different ways. We can do either assembly training package, where like it's an assembly talk. And that one is like 20 minutes max. Or you can do like a set by set thing and we arrange for each set. Or there's a package I'm calling the graduation class package. So people who are going to secondary schools, if it's primary schools, primary 6 or primary 5 going to secondary school, you need to prepare them for that, that shift. Then for those in GS3 entering SS1, even teaching them about like their careers, because I'm very particular about like what do you want to be in future, like because just mentally prepping for it and having those aptitude tests to just guide you. So I do, there's the graduation class package, then there's the set by set package, there's the gender package where I talk to all boys together and I talk to all girls together. So
what pushback, have you gotten? Because I'm just thinking as a man now, you go to a school of fathers and mothers and you're talking about sex education and they just look at you like, who's this small girl now? What exactly are you saying? What pushback and what plan do you have?
I think the pushback I had initially, which wasn't such a problem, was because I started this work as a young girl before I got married. So they're like, who are you to tell us you're a single girl? Yeah. So I was really happy. Like, I can always say I'm a mother of 2 children, but I feel like also
we're begging you to marry that time.
So, I think also like I feel like my work speaks for it. And I'm grateful because it's not pride, but I'm grateful for the journey and the growth that people can see your work. And even having that conversation, I don't get pushbacks. I actually get realization that, oh my God, we've been doing things the wrong way. Yeah. And I also tell people areas where I have made personal mistakes, and I have also adjusted. And I think even for my course, one of the things people should anticipate is there are dramas acted in there. Like it's not just me talk. Like there's very common things. Like there's a drama series there where it shows parents watching a movie that is that is rated 18. And everybody is sitting down watching, and then a sex scene comes, and the father is like, close your eyes, and everybody's like, hey, close your eyes, and that's something parents do a lot. Or is it parents that are sleeping in the same room with their toddlers, and you're having sex, and you're like, oh, this child is a toddler, this child is sleeping, this child will not take, well, are you doing that? This child does not know what we're doing, and you don't know that in the middle of your gra, this child can wake up, see what you're doing, and be quiet because there's a state of shock. So the child will not voice it out that I'm awake, or you guys, what are you doing? So the child will be quiet, observing, because is mommy in pain? Why is she crying? Or things like that. Do you understand? Yeah. And there's a bad case we had of a nursery 2 girl. Bad case. And she's there having sexual relations with, her peers. And so the parents were like, we know we're decent people. We don't have people over. This girl is not touched by anybody. And we dug deeper. She said, it's mommy and daddy. And truly, whenever they have sex, she wakes up. She sees them. And it has imprints in her mind. Yeah. So things like that, I think parents just being conscious.
No,
it's true.
Bro.
And you think this child is 3, this child is 4. It won't mean anything. Yeah. We're sexual people, right? So
that's a lot to unpack.
Deeper, you are doing stuff you should not be doing.
My baby is my first child is 11 months.
Your first child or your child? Which other one do you have? Is there something you're not telling me?
I'll feed you in later. But she's 11 months. I don't kick her. I don't yank her go her room or anything. Because she never, before she begin she just rightly said, you don't want to go through all that. But let's go into policy. Like any policy or legislative challenges that you've encountered trying to implement your program, or any ones that you really would love to push out, because you know how I am about things like this, and we're still very young. Like we have another 30-40 years to try and change Nigeria in different ways. Is there anything in particular about policy that you are struggling with or you want to work on?
I think I think 2 things, and I won't strictly say policy, but I would say number 1, all these nonsense laws we come up with, and child marriage is still a hush-hush case, and even our senators are marrying children, and then we say that we're a country that is forward-thinking. Of course, that's total BS. But I would say corporate organizations need to do better, because like I've seen that a lot of corporate social responsibility work is, your cousin or your wife's people have a project, then your company sponsors it.
Or God's wife.
Or your God's wife has this event, then you sponsor it. Companies and corporations need to take a deep look and say, truly, how do we measure impact and how do we support nonprofits? Because a lot of the things I do it out of pocket, right? I sometimes I use my own money, go to these schools. Sometimes you get there, you do trainings, and you see the children you're training are hungry. What do? You go and buy food now, because how do you want to train hungry people?
Who's going to listen to you?
Yeah,
who's going to open up to you?
And people in my space, it's very easy to give up because you have a family, you have people to feed under your roof. So I feel like if corporate organizations can just throw in a hand and do more, and not be political about their support.
I was going to ask, what's the second thing? Because I was going to wonder about the law and police, like how that comes into the rape cases. But what's the second thing?
I'm doing it. Police is major problem, major headache.
Well, let's not call it a problem. Let's say that they're not well informed.
But the good thing is I'm doing a training from August till the end of the year on emotional intelligence for the police, and I'm going to all the police stations in Lagos at least. Let's start from there. All the family support units, police stations, I will be there, and I've made that commitment. So if any organization wants to partner with me, sponsor it. You can sponsor a police station, or you can just say, "Oh, okay, this is what we have." Or if you're
do you think you can record the courses as well for them, like the way you have?
Yeah, but I will also have to go through their policies and see if I'm also infringing. So, like, I will have to ask, "Oh, can we record this and all of that?" But I will let the public know because it's something really pressing. We have girls going to the police station to say, "Oh, I've been abused," and guy says, "See the cloth you wear. They're not gonna rape you." And meanwhile, maybe she didn't even wear that and it was torn. And even my course also teaches girls, like, God forbid if you've been raped, but it's unfortunate if you have been. Don't have your bath, which is the first thing you want to do, really, to get the stench off you. Don't have your bath. Don't change your clothes, so you have evidence on you. You can go to Mirabel Center. I'm very proud of Mirabel Center and the work they're doing. They do these things for free forensics, free first aid, free all those things. And yeah, so it's police training. And I think I've just come to a place where I'm going to stop complaining about the country and complaining about the way the system is. And I'm going to get involved and do these things. Like whatever I'm complaining about, I am going to get into it. And that's why this EI training for police is core. And whoever wants to support, whoever wants to do something, if you even want to volunteer and just, be around, please, I'm open to collaborations.
Do you have other people in this space you work with? Because as we wrap up, like I'm just advising. Like, do you have other people you work with? And
I do a lot of collaboration myself. Like my course, I told you about the drama series. It was there's a suicide organization here in Japa. And I just called the founder and said, "Oh, this is my project." And I'm like, "Can your volunteers act these scenes out?" Yeah. And so every drama scene you see in the course is acted by the suicide squad. And they're brilliant because what they do is if a person feels like has depression or you have signs of, suicide intent, you can call them and they talk you through, they calm you down and all of that. So it's brilliant.
All right. I think this is a great place to
wrap it up. I've been talking since.
Another part, but yeah.
I usually won't break this to part A and part B because it's a long one.
It's a long one. Many thanks to Okpe, Yemi Makonjola for coming.
Thanks for coming. It was nice to have you. Yeah.
Yes.
Isaac, your energy level really matched the things where you hear today. Thank you guys for listening. Watch, share, subscribe. Spotify, Google Podcasts, YouTube, etc. Till the next episode, which is going to be nice. I don't know if I can't say.
Let's not say it. When they see it.
When they see it. Thank you, Okwe, for coming.
No problem.
And if you missed it, we said Okwe went to school in Warwick, so it's not. We didn't deviate from our Japa scene.
Yeah, we obviously we talked about
damage control pro max. Well done.
I mean, so people will always ask because we don't. I try not to emphasize on it, and I talk about Japa and how I have defined it to lifestyle and things like that. But yeah, thank you guys for coming. Thank you, Isaac and Victoria. Victoria and Isaac, too much learning today. You guys didn't really. Yeah,
I feel like I'll still have a conversation.
See you guys at the next episode.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.